subcommittee. Before we start, I need to make a few housekeeping announcements. The meeting is being held in person, following all COVID regulations, and is live streamed on Southwark Council's YouTube channel. Members and officers are asked to keep their face masks on when not speaking, but may remove them when they need to speak. And I can see that all colleagues have followed that ruling. Thank you. There are no planned fire alarms tests today, so if you hear the alarm, leave by the nearest fire exit, and that's from the entrance by which you entered this building, and then you will be guided by council staff to St John's Churchyard off Druid Street, and congregate in that area. The public toilets are located off the main atrium to my right, to your left. This is a non-smoking building, so please ensure you do not smoke on the premises. You can switch off your mobile phones or put them on silence whilst the meeting is in progress. Also, members of this subcommittee will not access the internet, send or receive emails, text messages or tweets concerning the business of the subcommittee. But the code for accessing the Southwark Council's free Wi-Fi is uppercase F, lowercase r, number 33, uppercase W, lowercase I, exclamation mark. We do have apologies this evening. We have apologies from Councillor Limpforth Hall. Are there any other apologies?
Councillor David Noakes, Chair.
And Councillor David Noakes. And we have the pleasure of Councillor Damien O'Brien, who is here in reserve for Councillor Limpforth Hall. Thank you very much. And I haven't received any other... Oh.
I think, sorry, Cyril said, Councillor Insight said.
And thank you very much, Vicky, Councillor Mills. Can we just have confirmation of therefore voting members this evening, please? Thank you. Are there any members' disclosures of any members' interest or dispensations for this particular agenda this evening? And we do not have any urgent matters, but we do have an addendum report. Can I just confirm that all members have received a copy of the addendum report, please? Thank you. We've got minutes to approve, colleagues. Can we approve the minutes of the previous meeting held on the 22nd of November 2021? Agreed. Thank you very much. So the next item of determination is the... Oh, do I need to... Right. Okay, then. So we've got guidance on the meeting for this particular application form application. So members and representatives who wish to speak can address the committee for 3 minutes, and that's objectors, applicants, supporters, the applicant's agent, or local council ward members. Each speaker should restrict their comments to the planning aspects of the application, and at the end of their presentation they will have an opportunity to answer questions posed by committee members. Finally, this planning subcommittee comprises of members from different political parties, and therefore we are not politically whipped. The decisions we make today are in accordance with the Council's planning policy and based on information contained in the relevant reports and addendum report. We have one application for consideration this evening. It's application 21AP/4210, and it's the Adventure Playground, Dog Kennel Hill Road, on pages 11 to 37 in your reports. And could I ask the officer to present, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So the application is a renewal of a previous planning permission. So the application proposes the removal of existing buildings on the site and then a creation of a single-storey community centre building within the same use class. I'd like to draw members' attention to the addendum, which sets out the three additional bits of information. It clarifies the cycle parking provision that would be required to be secured on site, and details of which are secured through planning condition. There is also information on the fire safety strategy, which has been submitted as in accordance with Part A of the London Plan Policy D12. And in addition, it clarifies the distances to the neighbouring residential block to the north of the site, which will extend from the existing distance of 13 metres to the new distance of 20.8 metres, so set further from the residential dwellings. So the existing site is located at the adventure, the playground, Dog Kennel Hill. So they are a voluntary sector organisation providing indoor and outdoor play provision for children and young people. So this is an aerial view of the site sort of in the context of the surrounding area. So you have residential to the sort of north of the site, and then Sainsbury's car park is situated to the south with a nursery used there as well. The site is in metropolitan open land and also a site of local nature conservation importance. The site itself isn't accessible, so it's maintained access as part of in the red line in the top corner of that image, as part of the Dog Kennel Hill Adventure Park, and then the back end of the site, which isn't involved in this application but is accessible to the public, but the whole area is metropolitan open land. So in terms of what's being proposed, there are 3 buildings on site and a storage sort of area that are proposed to be demolished, and then a new building, community centre built, which essentially will amalgamate the floor area. So there won't be an increase in floor area, it will just bring together the floor area to make a more flexible and functional space for the centre. So this is sort of elevations to show the existing and proposed building in context of the residential flats closest to the site. So the top image shows that sort of closer 13-metre distance, and the bottom image shows the building being set back further in the south eastern corner of the site. In terms of the impacts, no trees are proposed to be lost, but the applicant has provided agricultural impact assessment and tree plans, which will be secured through condition, which will ensure that the trees on site are protected during the demolition and construction process. So the plan that you can see up there shows the existing building to be demolished, and then the replacement building to the south. In terms of ecology impacts, the applicant has submitted BAT surveys, preliminary ecology impact surveys, which has all been reviewed by the ecologist, and they're satisfied that there wouldn't be any harm, and we're securing conditions for details of BAT boxes and also submission of a sensitive lighting plan. So yeah, in summary, we've sort of reassessed the proposal in accordance with the most up-to-date development plan policies, which obviously have changed since the previous approval, and we consider that the application remains acceptable in principle for metropolitan open land and wouldn't harm the openness or detract from its character. And that the proposal would provide an enhanced replacement facility for the adventure park in terms of being a more functional and flexible space for community, the local community and users of the site, and that there would be no negative impact on biodiversity or trees. So we are therefore recommending that planning permission is granted subject to the conditions.
Thank you, Gemma. Do members have any questions for Gemma? Any questions for clarification? Councillor Bryan?
Yes. Just a clarification, Gemma, is there any difference between the originally consented application and this one?
No, there's no difference in terms of what's being proposed. It's an identical application. The only difference is we are now asking for cycle storage to be provided on site, where previously that wasn't secured. But otherwise, the applications are identical.
Thank you. And if there are no further questions, can I invite the agent or the applicant forward to introduce themselves and then present, please?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Simon. Simon Cantor. I am the... Oh, sorry.
Or when do I...
That one. I'm Simon Cantor. I'm the chair of the trustees at the Adventure Playground. The Adventure Playground is a charity, and so unlike most of Southwark's adventure playgrounds, we are run by our board of trustees.
And so, sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Simon Cantor, Canter.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrick Pierre-Powell, and I'm the manager of the Adventure Playground.
Righto, thank you very much. Have you decided who's going to speak, or are you going to split the time?
I just had a few points to make. I don't know if Patrick will want to add anything to what I want to say, but I'm going to be brief.
Righto. Could you, Beverly, could you keep time for me, please? Thank you. You may begin.
One of the points was the point I think made by the councillor about the fact that there are no changes. This is exactly the same application that we put in 3 years ago. The second point came across in the presentation from Gemma, which is that although this is metropolitan open land, these plans actually tidy up the site, because at the moment we've got the falling down building, not fit for purpose, as you said in your report, and then we've got a shipping container behind it, which is used for storage, and then 2 outbuildings. So in the new plans, those 3 extra buildings go, and we just have 1 new building. So actually, metropolitan open land is being tidied up under these plans. Third thing I wanted to say is that we are lucky to enjoy the total support of our community. We recently had a bonfire night celebration event. We had about 400 people, all from around the surrounding area, and we noticed that there were absolutely no objections to these plans in the report. But finally, and most importantly, this is a new modern space for our children, the children who use the Adventure Playground, because at the moment the building, I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, it was put there in the 70s, it was a temporary structure, there are holes in the roof, there are holes which Patrick patches up, there are holes in the walls, it is damp. It has damp, the building has damp. It is not fit for purpose, and I think Gemma said it, it's not fit for purpose. So that's the most important point, really.
Okay, thank you. Patrick, do you have any additional comments?
No, I think that Gemma and Simon have mentioned everything which needs to be said, really. So, yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, so I'll ask committee members. Thank you very much for being so concise. Do committee members have any questions for the applicant, please? Councillor Rule?
Yeah, if successful, when do you think you're going to start building?
Well, we're currently coming into partnership with Southwark Council to actually have a joint funding programme, and so that's actually in process, and so as soon as we can sign that off, and we're actually in the process of having a master plan being finalised as well, so we're hoping that would happen in the near future.
Yeah, just to add to that, so Southwark have put 2.5 million towards, I think it's 5 adventure playgrounds in the borough, and we're one of them. We received £640,000. So we're actually in a lot better position than we were when we came here 3 years ago. That will not pay for the building quite, so we will have to do our own fundraising as well on top of that. And we're in the middle of the as Patrick says, the master plan, which includes landscaping changes. So we're about to fire the starting gun in our fundraising efforts.
Yeah, but when would you start building? Do you not know? What if ideal situation, if a millionaire gave you the money tomorrow, when would you start?
Start tomorrow. Yeah, we've got the plans are ready. We're just at the point of signing off the rest of the landscaping plans. Mm-hmm. So we're ready.
And thank you for that, Councillor. Is that landscaping to fill the voids where the two outbuildings will be demolished? Is that what you're referring to?
It's a combination
as
because
landscaping?
some of the structures actually need replacing. And so it's a master plan to reposition structures and to do landscaping, repair fencing. And so it's a combination of things.
Can I just ask why there's been a delay in the fundraising? Because this is the second time that this application has come into committee, and it's failed to be built out within 3 years. So why has there been such a delay in meeting the funds to?
Oh, yeah. So what happened was we were told about the 2.5 million. And we thought, wow, that's huge, because the new building could cost us maybe £700,000 or something like that. And we were worried about raising all of that money. As soon as we were told about the 2.5 million, the advice at that point was, well, once you've got the backing of Southwark and you've got a clear idea about what they're going to give you, at that point, begin your fundraising. And we were thinking, okay, we're going to get an answer on that pretty quickly. And then what happened was COVID, and the relevant department, I think it was Parks, is it? They had to survey the site, and they had to survey the building, and it got delayed by COVID. And so we actually didn't get the confirmation of the £640,000 until I think it was in the middle of last year. So it was only at that point that we could get going again.
I don't know if it's helpful, just because I was cabinet member for finance, and one of the when the 2.5 million was signed off, and I don't know whether maybe somewhere in the changeover of leadership at the council and the decision that we needed to go out and resurvey the adventure playgrounds before a final decision was made how the 2.5 million was divided up. It did seem to take an awful long time internally here at the council, so I wouldn't want to suggest, I think there was a really clear commitment in probably February and March of 2020, and then maybe a combination of COVID, but also I do think we were quite slow internally at the council, has delayed those eventual decisions how the 2.5 was going to be divided up.
Thank you, I appreciate your honesty. That's really helpful. Thank you very much. Any further questions to that? All right. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. I take it we don't have any supporters, certainly not the Mills. Yes, there. So, and we don't have anyone that lives within 100 metres. We don't have any ward councillors here, I can see either, but we do actually,
I'm sure that Councillor King would agree, but she's at overview and scrutiny, so yeah, I don't know whether we can note.
No, I was just about to say that she has sent in her comments, and she, just for committee members to be aware that she's fully in support of this particular application. And obviously sends her apologies that she can't be here, but she's fully in support. Any further questions to officers or the officer? Gemma? No? So, colleagues, are there any sort of general comments that anybody would like to make? Councillor Mills.
Of course, we should fully scrutinise these applications, and of course, I'm not being led by the fact that my 2 children are here this evening, but it's such an important building that we need to get built. It's been delayed by COVID. Getting our kids out there, getting involved in play, risky play is so vitally important, and that's why we put the £2.5 million in the budget. So, I'd be really keen that we progress quickly to a vote and that we do back the application. I think there's absolutely no reason at all to not agree it this evening.
Well, I would have got there.
Councillor Mills, I noticed just from the aerial shot, it's very close to the Tower Hamlets football that's on the other side of the...
You mean Dulwich Hamlets?
Oh, sorry, Dulwich. You're right. Dulwich Hamlets. I'm very sorry.
You're the wrong borough, mate.
Yeah, no. I got Tower Hamlets on my brain. The Dulwich Hamlets development, which is on the other side of the... has it been any sort of conversation? I know Millwall, for example, have talked to South Bermondsey councillors about sort of, a tie-up between the younger people coming through from the playground sort of area to junior football, or... I mean, I'm just putting it out there, really.
I think that's not for...
I know, I know, but...
Conversation to be had outside of the committee meeting. I'd like to move to the vote.
All right, okay, fair enough.